What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Leo coming to you guys with yet another video. Coming to you guys today with my Summerslam 2024 review. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, this was an amazing show from start to finish. I think they have hit on all cylinders. I feel like they accomplished everything that they needed to with every story that they had on the show. And I'm pretty much gonna go down, talk about some of these matches, and talk about what I liked and what do I think this means for the future of for these storylines for those that I can see continuing. Because I think a lot of these I do see continuing. But I'm not gonna waste your time. Before we get into the video, make sure you super kick that like button, Superman punch that post notification bell, and spear that subscribe button. We're on the road to 300 subscribers, but the ultimate goal is 10K when I by the end of this year. When I do hit 10K, I will do a giveaway. One of my lucky fans will have the opportunity to win a WWE Championship from WWE Shop. So go subscribe to my channel. It's absolutely free. But let's get into it with the first match of the night. They kicked off with Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley. I did watch the countdown, so to speak, and they talked about that this match will be kicking off, which I think will be a good. I think I was kind of confused, but like when I really seen the match, I was like, okay, this is a great start to SummerSlam, because I had a feeling that they probably were going to start with the U.S. title, but we'll get into that later in the show. So we start off. This match was really good. I loved how the selling Liv Morgan she was doing. She was pretty much using. She was trying to avoid Rhea Ripley every twist and every turn. We see before, like when they were doing this entrances for Rhea. She came out there with Dominic. Then you had Liv Morgan come out there with and everything like that. And then the whole story, this whole match was going to be, where does Dominic lie? Where does his allegiance really lie? And we seen that Rhea and Liv, they killed it. Like, we know that these women have chemistry, but this match was so good. I think this is literally probably going to be one of my favorite women's matches of the entire year. We've seen this entire match Liv trying to avoid getting in the crosshairs of Rhea Ripley. She's attacking Rhea Ripley's arm, and then we seen a spot where she you had the ref checking on Rhea, and Rhea was telling the ref it's out, pretty much saying like her shoulder was dislocated, and you can kind of look, if you look a little bit closer, it looked a little bit like it was dislocated because you seen a lump on her shoulder. But this is where it got interesting. She ran into the announce table and popped her shoulder back into the socket. That crowd went crazy for that. That crowd went crazy for that. And then Liv is trying to continue target using submissions, you know, pushing her shoulder into the steel steps. You're seeing, and then early in the match, Rhea Ripley hit a riptide on Liv Morgan on the top rope, but then she did not pin her right then and there. Then later in the show, it starts, like in the match, it starts to pick up because now Liv Morgan goes to the outside and she introduces a chair looking to get disqualified to retain her title. And then Rhea Ripley pretty much does not let that happen. She hits a riptide on Liv Morgan, and then she looks at the chair, and then she proceeds to try to pick it up and then use it on Liv Morgan. But Dominic gets on the apron and he pulls the chair away from Rhea Ripley, and he tells her, "You can't do this. You cannot win the championship if you use the chair because you will get disqualified." And granted, I know people don't like Dom, but he made a lot of sense. If you want to win the championship, you cannot use any weapons if it's a no, if it's a not like if it's not a DQ match. So you have to think about it from that standpoint. And then Liv Morgan, I think right before that, she pushes Rhea Ripley into Dominic, and she hits the Oblivion. Now, this is another crazy thing. Rhea Ripley becomes the first person to kick out of the Oblivion. That is crazy, because at this point, nobody has ever kicked out of the Oblivion at this point, and Rhea Ripley is the first to do that. Kind of gives me flashbacks to when we were seeing Baron Corbin a couple years ago. Nobody's ever kicked out of the End of Days, and then we got to WrestleMania 38, I believe, and that's where we see the first time somebody kicked out, and that was Drew McIntyre. So it kind of gave me those kind of flashbacks just a little bit. And then we see the chair get introduced again, but Dominic throws the chair in, and it looks like he's looking at Liv Morgan once when he's doing it. And when the ref is not looking, Liv Morgan charges Rhea Ripley once again, hits her with Oblivion on the chair to get the 1, the 2, and the 3. And still your women's world champion, Liv Morgan. But then Dominic is smiling with all this. He is smiling. Then we segue back to Liv Morgan. She's on the ground. She's struggling to get up after the brutal match that she had with Rhea Ripley. Um, but and pretty much Rhea's in the ring. She's kind of distraught that she didn't get the win. But then we segue back to Liv, and Dominic helps her up and proceeds and plants a kiss passionately onto Liv Morgan, and then picks up the championship and hands it to her, and they walk off. And this sets up a huge story because now Dominic has made his decision. He is with Liv Morgan. This was all a ruse this entire time. They were probably in cahoots this entire time, and now we're finally seeing it. But we're gonna get into some more Judgment Day stuff just a little bit. So we on to the this is not in any particular order. I probably might get out of order with some of these matches, and I'm sorry. But I think the next match we did have was for the U.S. Braun Breaker. I think for the Intercontinental Championship. This match, it was fine. I will say that. I mean, I think what the story that they were telling was, can Braun Breaker be able to take Sami Zayn serious? And let's say he did. This pretty much almost was like a squash match, in all honesty. I mean, we've seen Sami get some offense throughout the match, but for the grand scheme of things, we've seen Braun Breaker pretty much destroy Sami Zayn and take the Intercontinental Championship, hitting the spear numerous times throughout this match. And then he gets the spear, 1, 2, 3, and new Intercontinental Champion. It wasn't really too much to say about this match, but I think it was fine. I feel like it accomplished everything that they wanted to establish Braun Breaker as this new monster in the company and him being the champion. So I think I'm looking forward to see who's his first challenger and where they go from there. I'll probably talk some. I didn't finish with the Liv Morgan stuff because I think we're gonna talk about it just a little bit more once we get to the Damian Priest match. But after that, we got to see another match that was being for the United States Champion, with Logan Paul defending against L.A. Knight. So we see Logan Paul come out. We see LA Knight come out first and everything like that. Then we see Logan Paul, and then the whole story is like, who's this Mr. Cleveland? Who is this guy that's gonna be pretty much standing by Logan Paul's side throughout this match? Now, there's two people that I feel like it was gonna be. It was either going to be either Jake Paul, because that's his brother, and I think that probably would have added a little bit more story, or it would have been MGK, and it ended up being MGK. So we're seeing when Logan Paul's making his entrance, he's looking over and there's a person in a security outfit, and he takes off the hood, and it's Machine Gun Kelly, and they start dabbing each other up. And then now he's accompanying Logan Paul to the ring for this title defense. And I knew that there was going to be some shenanigans. I'm pretty sure there was going to be some shenanigans where Logan Paul's entourage were going to get involved. That's just typical Logan Paul magic. We're going to see some type of interference, whether it's just with one person or numerous people. We've seen it at WrestleMania with the Prime bottle, even though there was a Prime bottle being used here, but we were still seeing some interference. And we see in this match, the way it started, it took some time before the match actually did start. It gave me flashbacks to when LA Knight faced AJ Styles at WrestleMania this year. And what happened was we seen them go at it before the match could even get started, and it happened here too. So we're seeing they're just going at each other. They're literally causing chaos around the ringside. LA Knight trying to I think he hits like a move on the table with Logan, and then the match starts. They're going at it. This match was actually fun. I know people have their opinions about Logan Paul, but let's be honest. Despite all the controversy that he brings around himself, when it comes to him in that ring, he can go and he can give you a great match. And I think this is a great match. But let's be honest, we knew Logan did not need to retain here. It made all the sense in the world. The stars were aligned for LA Knight to get this win, and we knew, despite whatever happened, Logan Paul was going to do everything in his power to make sure he did not win. And what happened? He used, I think, the chain, and then he ended up hitting like a buckshot lariat to get the 1, the 2, and the close near fall. Then it looks like he's going for something else again. I can't remember the move, but I think it was maybe another buckshot lariat. Y'all comment down below. Let me know if I might be wrong. But then, pretty much after LA Knight early in the match taking out all pretty much the people that were in his entourage, you still had MGK, but he didn't really do too much. And now, after everything that he's been through, Logan's trying to go for yet another move, but it's reversed into another BFT because early in the match, he hit a BFT, but for the close kick out, he hits another BFT this time to get the 1, the 2, and the 3, and new United States champion, the megastar, with everybody saying L.A. Knight. And then we get on, and before and throughout, we're seeing some other segments. Right after the Liv Morgan match, I forgot to mention this. We're seeing Damian Priest just storm into the Judgment Day locker room. He says, "Where is he? Where's Dominic? Where's that traitor?" He's looking for him, and then everybody's like saying, "We don't know where he is." And he looks at Finn, and I'm seeing some things that's gonna probably be planted for later in the show, which end up happening. He grabbed Finn Balor by his shirt and grabbed him. He says, "What did you have anything to do with this?" And then he was like, "No, I don't have anything to do with this." And then pretty much, looking for, Dominic after what happened with him and Liv Morgan and everything like that early in the show. And then we move on to the next match after the U.S. Championship, which for the WWE Women's Championship. This match was really solid. I think it was two stories and two outcomes that I felt like were going to happen. Either we were going to see a potential cash in, which we did, and then there was going to be a situation where I could see Nia winning and possibly Tiffany winning from Nia, or if Bayley somehow retained, then we would have seen for sure a cash in. And the way they were setting up the show, we were seeing at this point 2 back-to-back title matches. We seen the IC title change hands. We seen the US title change hands back to back. Now we were seeing a potential on the cusp of another title match, and where the title does change hands. So I was kind of confused because I'm like, are they really gonna have so many title changes on this show? And we get the match. Pretty much Bayley, she's taking it to Nia in the early going of this match. She's trying to throw everything that she has at her, but we knew the numbers game was probably going to catch up to Bayley at some point during this match. We knew that when it comes to Bayley, yes, she is one of the very best, but she's going up against some crazy odds, going up against somebody that's more powerful than her, more stronger than her, more aggressive than her. So she was going up against some odds that she was going to have to face, win, lose, or draw. So we see these two go back and forth this entire match. Where we see I don't know the name of Nia Jax's finisher, but it was like a splash where she pretty much sits on you. Comment down below. Let me know what's the name of that move, because I'm kind of going through this, but I'm kind of not really. I don't know everybody's finisher. Okay, I'm a wrestling fan, but I don't know everybody's finisher. But early in the match, we see Bayley hit a Bayley to belly for a close kick out. Then there's a situation where both women are kind of, they're gassed, and we hear Tiffany Stratton's music come in, and it look like she's gonna try to cash in. She's getting on the apron, look like she's gonna go in the ring to cash in. Bayley clocks her, takes her out for the rest of this match, and pretty much is the beginning of the end for Bayley, because we see Nia come in. I think she hit a Samoan drop, and then she pulled her onto the corner, and she proceeds to go back to back with her finishes. I think she hit it like maybe 2 times, and then she dictates like she's gonna become champion. She hits the move once again for the 1, the 2, and the 3, and new WWE Women's Champion, the Queen, Nia Jax. So now we had Queen of the Ring, and now she's your Women's Champion. Now I was talking about this. A lot of people were kind of confused, like, why didn't Tiffany cash in? Why do we get a Tiffany crash in? Look, if we're paying attention to the story, it's going to make even more sense when when it unfolds, because the story that they're doing is Nia as champion, and then at some point Tiffany does cash in, turning face, and then she cashes in to become champion. I think that's the story and the route that they're going to be going with. So I can see a situation where Tiffany does eventually cash in, possibly later this year, maybe like at Survivor Series or Bad Blood or something. So just be patient, because I think when the turn happens, it's going to be generational. Let's be honest. Um, and and also you had to give the title to Nia, because if you want to establish the Queen of the Ring as being something serious, you have to put the title on her. You don't want to have her win the Queen of the Ring, but it doesn't lead to anything, because then it's going to diminish what it means to be Queen of the Ring and becoming a champion, adding more emphasis on winning it. So now you have, when you do get to Queen of the Ring next year, it's more emphasis on whoever wins, because they can get a championship, and seeing what happens, you have a good success rate of winning it and becoming champion. So and plus, they had to make up for what happened the first time around, because I think when Queen Zelina won it, I wish they would have implemented you get an opportunity at the title, and this would have been a crazy story for her back then, but they never really went with anywhere with it. So you wanted to add emphasis on the winners and their chances of winning the championship this year. That's the whole point. You want people to get invested in these matches. You want people to be invested in these stories. You want people to be invested in these gimmick matches. You want people to take them seriously. So they had to give Nia Jax the win here. And then on to the next match, which was CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. This match was fun. This was an all-out brawl. They they the story of this match, Punk and Drew finally getting their hands on each other, but you have the looming Punk, not Punk, but Rollins as a special guest referee. Is he going to call it down the middle? Is he going to do some type of screwy finish? Is this going to be like how Summerslam in 1996-97, where it was Brett and Shawn in that match and stuff like that? Would it be something like that? And for what I'd say it was, I think the whole story was, Punk wanting to get his bracelet back on top of it, but also destroy Drew. But Drew wanting to get his comeuppance on Punk for costing him so many opportunities at becoming world champion. Um, and there's no love lost between any of these guys that were in this match, what made it even better, in my personal opinion. We see, I think it was a situation where, what was it? Later in the show, early in the match, um, where we seen not Damien, Drew. We seen Drew in the Anaconda Vice from Punk. Punk had him in the Anaconda Vice, but he stopped it because he looked and he tried to take the bracelet off early in the match. But then when he hits the Anaconda Vice, Seth Rollins has it, but Seth Rollins wasn't doing it to be petty. He wasn't doing it to spite CM Punk. He was doing it to get it out of the way so it wouldn't be a factor for the foreseeable of the match. And Punk goes all in berserk. He was like, what are you doing? Are you trying to screw me? And then he's going in. He's yelling at Punk. Punk is yelling at Rollins. I'm sorry, and Rollins is like, chill, man. I'm literally doing this so it doesn't become a factor. Focus on Drew. And then he just goes in on Punk. He says, we don't need you here. We don't want you here. And then, Punk, he says, all right. And he turns around. And he comes right back to literally Rollins and hits him with a GTS. And he goes over to Drew. Looks like he's about to try to do some type of move. It looks like he's going to try to set him up for the GTS, but he gets hit with the low blow, and it's ironic. Drew hits Punk with the low blow, which is the same move CM Punk used at Clash of the Castle. So it's It's the parallels that they're doing here, and I love it. And then Drew stuns is what has Punk stunned and where he wants him. He runs to the rope and comes right back charging at CM Punk with the Claymore, and Rollins is making it back to his feet, and he counts the 1, the 2, and the 3, and Drew McIntyre wins the match. But really, what made it even better, after that match was over, he took the bracelet back off of Punk and put it back on, and he kissed the bracelet and then walked out of the ring. Oh, I'm telling you, when we see Raw come Monday, oh, it's gonna be pure cinema. So many stories. I'm gonna be streaming Raw if you guys. So if you guys want to see my reaction to some of the things that happen on Raw, stay tuned. We get into the next match, which is for the World Heavyweight Championship. We have the King of the Ring winner, Gunther, versus El Campeon, Damian Priest. Now, before this match, um, Damian apologizes to Finn Balor. He says, "I'm sorry." And Finn Balor says back to Damian, "I'm sorry too." Now, when I seen that, I paused for a second. I said, he's about to turn. Because what happened earlier in the show, him when Damian was roughing up Finn Balor, and now Finn Balor says, "I'm sorry too." In my mind, I'm says he's saying "I'm sorry too" because he's about to screw this man. He's about to turn and backstab this man, and he did, which we'll get to just a minute. But this match was freaking amazing. I love this match. Oh, I love this match. Priest is going at Gunther with everything that he had in this match. He's hitting with the elbows. He had Gunther's chest bleeding from the chops. But we know Gunther, he ain't afraid of a little blood, and he dished it right back. They're going back and forth. And pretty much looks like later in the match, Gunther is starting to take over, and pretty much, and he was. And then Finn Balor comes in, and when Finn Balor came in, I'm like, is he going to help rally up um, Damian to where he can get back in this fight and potentially get a win over here? But no, we see um, pretty much what happens is Damian, he starts to get riled up again. He hits a razor's edge, and then he hits the south of heaven, and then Gunther is rolling out the ring. So pretty much Priest has to get him right then and there, and he's close to the rope, and the ref is counting the 3 count, and Damian has him down for the count. He has him in the 1, the 2, and then what happens? Finn Balor takes Gunther's leg and puts it over the rope, breaking the pin. At this point, Damian doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know. He doesn't know what is going on. He doesn't know anything about Finn Balor doing anything until he sees the replay, and you slowly have Damian Priest turn around, and you see Finn Balor with a menacing look on his face, just an evil, sadistic look. And he turns around and looks at Damian Priest with that menacing look. If looks can kill, pretty much, Damian, you would be a dead man. I'm sorry. With those looks, yeah, he'd be a dead man. And then now, it kind of shifts Damian's focus from at this point. It shifts his focus because he's no longer focusing on what really matters, and that's trying to keep the championship and focusing on Gunther. He's going after Finn Balor now. He's trying to get him in that ring, and first off, we see Gunther get him in the chokehold, and it looks like he's fading, but he's looking at Finn Balor while Gunther is doing this to him. While Gunther has Damian Priest in the chokehold, Damian is looking at Finn as if it's going to be the final thing he sees before his championship gets taken away. But something inside of Damian rallies him up, and he tries to get back in it, and he goes back at it with Gunther, and he tries to pull Finn Balor in the ring once again, but it cost him this time. And Gunther hits him with the power bomb, and then proceeds to put him in the chokehold once again. And we see Damian Priest fades. He fades. He can't make the ref trying to use his arm for the three, and the ref has to stop it. And your new world heavyweight champion, the ring general, Gunther. And now even then, Finn is still looking at Damian Priest. Now a lot of people are saying maybe they were going to wait a while and do it, and they could have. But I think it made sense for Finn Balor to turn here. The reason I say that is because look at what happened last year, and we know Triple H loves his long-term storytelling. What happened last year? Damian Priest costed Finn Balor the championship when he faced it Seth Rollins last year. Damian Priest, not Finn, costed him the match. Finn Balor had that match won. He had the world championship in his sights, but pretty much the same thing happened. When Damian Priest got in, it shifted his focus and threw him off his game, allowing Seth Rollins to retain. And Finn Balor could have been like this entire time. I never forgot what you did. An eye for an eye. You costed me at SummerSlam last year. I costed you at SummerSlam this year. Now this is going to proceed into now because we know Rhea Ripley, she's going to be trying to kill Liv Morgan and Dominic. And you're going to have Damian Priest trying to do the same thing to Finn Balor. So my question is, are we going to see this new Judgment Day be used on Raw this coming week? That's going to consist of Liv Morgan, uh, JD, Finn, and Dom? Because I'm thinking wherever Finn goes, JD's going to go too. And plus, they're tag team champions. And on top of that, the reason they're tag team champs is because of Liv Morgan. So that makes the story even more intriguing because now they can say we're pledging our allegiance to Liv Morgan because she's done more for us than you two ever did. So you can have that narrative. For Dom, it can be, well, Liv Morgan always treated me with respect and treated me with love, never really treated me like I'm just a joke or never been there for me. Because of Liv Morgan, I be finally seeing things clearly. I'm finally the man that I always wanted to be. Because of Liv Morgan, I finally beat that deadbeat of a dad, Rey Mysterio. There's so many things that there's going to be so many layers that they're going to be telling throughout Raw this coming week, and I can't wait for it. I can't wait for this. So now, where the question is, do you have Jey Uso getting involved in this? Because you know Jey Uso and Rhea, they might have a little bit of history too. They might bring him into the fold. Where does Carlito? What has he done? Will he do? Will he align with this new Judgment Day, or will he stay loyal to Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley, even though they don't really want much of anything to do with him? So where does he align? Because he's always been kind of seen as this comedy relief at this point. So it's gonna be a cool question to be answered. Like with all these stories going on. On top of that, where's Carlito going in all this? Because it seems like he's just the odd man out at this point. So, but we will have to see. And then we get into the main event of the evening for the WWE Championship. Cody Rhodes defending against Solo Sikoa in a Bloodline Rules match. Now they had Solo come out first. Then you have Cody Rhodes, like they're doing this segment, his entrance to the ring. He's having a conversation with Arn Anderson. He tells him, I have some friends for you, some that you do know, some that you don't, which we find out later in the show. And then and people, pretty much people in the chat, we were just going crazy. Is Arn Anderson gonna give Cody the Glock to put to the forehead of Solo Sikoa later in this match? I would have died laughing if that was the case. We see him walk out with Pharaoh for the last time. We did know Pharaoh will no longer be seen on WWE television. That was his last road appearance. So, and it kind of sucked because I mean we know that like that's Cody's best friend. They have so much history. Pharaoh's been there for a lot of his big moments. He was there when he was first in AEW. Then him winning the title and everything like that. So it's been so many moments that Cody's had over his luscious career that Pharaoh has been by his side for. So it was a cool, wholesome moment, heartfelt moment for sure. But this match, it started to pick up towards the end because that's where we seen the interference. It started off slow and it was building to a big crescendo, which we knew. Once we knew the Bloodline got involved, we seen Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa. We seen them get involved trying to take out Cody, and then Solo's trying to pin Cody, didn't work. Now they're still trying to attack Cody still. We see Kevin Owens coming out to make the save. Then he's going after Tonga Loa and Tama Tonga. And then they're getting the upper hand at that point because the numbers game. Then Randy Orton comes down there. Then they chase off Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa out of the building. Seems like now we still have somebody left, and that's Jacob Fatu, which we do see. Jacob Fatu comes in. They start to pack up Cody. They put him on the announce table, and we see the first thing you see when Jacob Fatu comes in, he runs towards the rope and hits his little moonsault. Then Solo and Jacob proceed to try to pack up Cody. They take him outside, and then pretty much we're seeing Jacob do his splash through the table, which he did, but it looks like he hit his shin on top of that, and it looks like I don't know if it's a legit injury or he's selling an injury or whatever the case is, but I hope he is okay, because it did look pretty nasty. He wasn't able to get up, and then Solo comes out, but Jacob's telling him, finish this now, finish him, win it, and then he puts Cody back in the ring. Then he goes for a splash to get the near fall, the 1, the 2, and the kick out. And then both guys are kind of stunned right now. And then we hear Roman Reigns' music hit. Now this is a remix, I believe. Now this is the it's not his music or his theme that we've been seeing for him for so long. It was the one that he had at WrestleMania 40. Fact check me if I might be wrong, but I think it's the one from WrestleMania 40 where he had the choir singing, like almost a remake of his theme. And you had him come out there. That crowd went crazy when you heard his theme, and he had the a new shirt that says OTC, which stands for Original Tribal Chief, or in other people's words, saying One Tribal Chief. Excuse me. And then he makes that slow walk. He's soaking it all in, and he gets close to the ring, and he runs in the ring, and then he hits a Superman punch for Solo Sikoa's troubles, and then he's panting to the crowd. He turns back around and he looks at Solo, and he hits the ooh-ah with everybody saying it with him, and he hits the spear, and then he turns to Cody and he gives him the nod. But I think the way they're setting this up, I will say this solidifies Roman Reigns as a babyface. But they had like a stare off in the sense of it's mutual respect there. But Roman, he's gonna want that championship back. He's gonna want another go at that championship. And Cody said, I think you kind of can pick up a little bit. If you want to go with this, you want to run it back, let's do it. Roman Reigns, I feel like Roman Reigns and Cody will probably have a match, maybe at Bad Blood, possibly, or somewhere down the line. We will see. And I can see The Rock being the reason Roman Reigns doesn't win it, because I can see the Bloodline getting involved, and I can see The Rock getting involved in that match, and it being revealed he was the one behind pulling the strings this entire time. That is going to be pure cinema. That is really going to get a lot of people talking, because now you can build to Survivor Series. You can build to that ultimate match that a lot of people are going to want to see with Roman Reigns and The Rock at WrestleMania 41 in the main event. And I guess whoever wins is the official tribal chief or something like that. And you can have different people choose their sides. You can have the story leading into Survivor Series where Roman is trying to rally up the troops to go up against this new version of the Bloodline, and he has to ask for forgiveness for those he has wronged, those like Sami Zayn, those like Jimmy Uso, those like Jey Uso, those like Randy Orton, those like Cody Rhodes, those like Kevin Owens and Randy Orton, and all those people. I probably said two of their names twice, but I'm sorry. Just in case if I forgot, I probably feel like I didn't mention them, so I have to make sure I mentioned them. So you have that story of him coming back into the fold, trying to rally the troops and ask for forgiveness for everything that he's done. So that is going to be a cool story that I'm looking forward to, especially come SmackDown. What would Solo have to say after Roman's actions? What would Cody have to say? What would Roman Reigns have to say? What is this going to lead to? I'm looking forward to a lot of things. This right here is probably my favorite SummerSlam, probably since 2017. That was like my last favorite SummerSlam. But this right here was pure cinema. This entire show with pure cinema. from the Judgment Day being changed as we know it, be crowning 4 champions on the show, from the IC title to the US title to the Women's Championship to the World Heavyweight Championship, and the return of Roman Reigns and the other turns that happened on the show. So this was a great show. If I had to rank this show, I'm giving this a 9.5 or a 10 out of 10 show. This was fantastic. I recommend, if you guys haven't seen this show, go watch it. What are you doing? Please go watch this entire show from start to finish. It's absolutely great. But that is my review for SummerSlam. Comment down below. Let me know, how did you guys enjoy SummerSlam this year? What was your favorite moments of the show? What are you guys looking forward to from some of these things that happen on the show? What do you guys think they're going to lead to? Leave it all down in the comment section down below. Let's have a discussion about it. Let's talk about it. Let's do all that good stuff. But like I said earlier in the video, make sure you super kick that like button. Helps my channel gets pushed across the platform so more people can see what I'm doing over here on YouTube. Superman punch that post notification bell so every time I post a new video, whether it be a reaction video, rant video, live stream, review, any type of video, you can be in the loop of things when I do drop a video. And spear that subscribe button. Takes 3 seconds out of the day to do those 3 things for me. Helps out in the progression of my channel. We're going all the way with this. We're back. I had to take a couple of days off to do some other things in my personal life, but I am back. So, hey, SummerSlam is in the books. Raw's tomorrow night at the time of recording this video. I'm looking forward to it. Let's get into it. Looking forward to a lot of these stories unfolding. But that is the end of the video, guys. Make sure you have a great day, a great weekend, a great week, and I'll see you guys in the next video.